Howdy, fuckers, and welcome back to the Rock the Boat podcast with your host, me, Ross Burnett. This week it was a lot of fun talking to an old friend, Jake Dyer, about a whole bunch of nerdy stuff that we like. So I hope you guys enjoy it. But before I just talk about the whole podcast, I'm just gonna let you guys get into it. This is the Rock the Boat podcast with your host, Ross Burnett, and I got my friend here, Jake Dyer, the Duke of Klein Oak.
Oh gosh, throwback.
For sure.
Trying out a new thing there with the goal.
Yeah, dude, that's the episode title. You're the Duke of Klein Oak, forever and always, Jake Dyer.
What, 6 years of other people would probably beg to differ, but I thank you for
we've never had a Duke like you, man. You made a difference.
The reigning champ.
I
made a difference. With all the policies that I enacted.
Yes, for sure.
Obviously.
I just want to thank one of our sponsors out of the gates, Torchy's Tacos. One of the best. We were just talking about it off air.
Get some queso.
Definitely get the green chili queso. And this month, they have the new taco of the month. The Tokyo Drifter has sweet and sour pork, wonton strips, coleslaw, as well as a spicy mayo, and I would suggest putting some Diablo sauce on that, making it a little spicier. It's wonderful. Go get it while you can for this month only at Torchy's Tacos. Use coupon code BOAT for a confused look at the counter, and we'll get on with the podcast. So I think we're going to go ahead and reach into the fan email question box.
I'm ready. Is it emails or voicemails?
There's voicemails, there's emails. I got a mailbox. If you just want to leave something, if you know the third tree on the right, if you know exactly where I'm standing, there's a rock behind that tree. Under the rock is a hole. If you put your question in there, it goes straight to the top of the mailbox.
It's actually how you get on the show. You have to put a request in. You have to put an application.
So this one is from Greg from Arkansas. If you had to eat a celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be and why? And how would you prepare them?
Probably the guy who plays the mountain in Game of Thrones.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'd be full for probably a month. That's a lot of
I'd
man.
have to get a bigger freezer.
Yeah. You chop them up into parts though.
I guess. Yeah.
Just some cutlets.
Those biceps on a spit and just roasting it.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then you wouldn't need to buy food for months. Probably. I don't know. What does he weigh?
You want me to look it up?
400 something pounds.
I'll fucking
look this shit up.
Actually, let's go get our intern to look this up.
You have to give him a nice whipping again. How much does a mountain weigh?
He's 6'9", 403 pounds.
403 pounds. 403 pounds of... but he wouldn't taste very good, because that's muscle,
That's true.
You don't want a lot of muscle in your meat. So maybe just like a fat dude. I don't know. Who's a really famous fat celebrity right now?
You want like a dense person, though.
Yeah. Like a Kevin James.
Andre the Giant would probably be the best.
But he's been dead for a long time.
Dead or alive.
Oh. Yeah. No, yeah. Only Jordan. Yeah.
Because he's got the fat on top, so he's probably pretty marbled.
But he was an athlete.
A lot of beer. Yeah. And so that's... They do the Japanese beef? I haven't watched the HBO special yet.
There's one part where I forgot who was doing an interview, and the guy said that he passed out in the lobby of a hotel, and the hotel manager came up and said, "Well, what do we do?" And the guy said, "Call AAA." Because there's no moving that guy. He was passed out like a rock on the floor. He's not going anywhere. Yeah, Andre the Giant's a good answer. There's little bit of muscle to keep it firm, but a lot of fat to keep it. For sure.
I think that's a good
juicy
idea.
Yeah. Okay. Andre the Giant's a good answer.
That was a good question, Greg from Arkansas.
Thanks, Greg. How's Arkansas? Write in next show and tell Ross how Arkansas is.
So this one is from Jackson from Louisiana. If you guys could create a game, what genre would it be? Who would develop it? And what would be its key features?
So probably something science-based.
And you can use any IP. Yeah, no, science-based, 100% dragon, MMO,
probably
RPG.
Developed by a random 26-year-old woman.
We have the technology. What the science-based, don't ask us. We don't know. Just it's going to be something.
It's like hydrogen, helium.
Yeah, I don't know. But for real, probably a Black Flag, some level of pirate warfare.
We need pirates. More pirate games.
Yeah.
Pirates and Cowboys. You can pick. You can either be a pirate or a cowboy, but it's a asymmetrical competitive multiplayer. The pirates are invading the Cowboys on land. The pirates get to use cannons and ships. The Cowboys have guns and horses.
I don't know, dude. I think a battle royale with pirates could be interesting.
They have that.
Like, I think Sea of Thieves could have done it really well with teams of 4. Like,
no, there is a...
I know, but it's a top-down. I saw it.
Yeah.
Was it Maelstrom or something?
Yeah,
I don't know. I looked at it. I really think if from a first-person's perspective, 4-on-4 teams, I think that could be really cool in Sea of Thieves. But the thing about Sea of Thieves, man, is like the development team is so fixated on like not giving progression.
It's rare, right?
Yeah, it's rare, and they don't want progression. They don't want people to buy things. They don't want the game to be PvP, but it kind of is.
It is.
You know, it's
the whole fun of it.
And if you go on the subreddit and just say any of those things, people fucking downvote the shit out of you because they want no progression. It's like, I don't know.
I want to be a pirate now.
I just want to be a pirate and have fun. I just want to get on like 5 hours a week and still be able to play with my friends. And
have you seen the
casuals, dude?
Have you seen the Captain Look video? Oh god, you gotta on a commercial break. You gotta pull that one up. It's just like this dude just sailing along, and his friend comes up. He's Captain, and the guy's like, yeah. Look! And then like he turns around and there's just like a giant galleon and it's like about to ram them. And the guy's just, oh fuck! He's like, we have so much fucking shit in this goddamn boat, and they're like freaking out like while they're being attacked. It's a good video. Definitely want to look up. Definitely want to put in your watch later feed on YouTube. Just look up Captain Look.
Yeah, no, the proximity game chat was one of the most fun things. Trolling in that game was amazing.
I mean, yeah, that's all pirates in real life is troll.
Just the RPing. It was
RP as a real pirate.
Yeah.
Real pirate RP.
Cowboy games. Hopefully Red Dead's good. We'll see.
I want some real cowboy RP.
But honestly, also a Star Wars game that's not EA could be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's hard to balance the Force.
What happened to
lightsaber stuff?
What was the one that they canceled whenever Disney bought the rights?
1313.
Yeah. That looks so
Bounty
cool.
Hunter one.
Like the Underworld.
Yeah, that looked pretty sweet. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is just out there. So did you ever play Recon or was it Republic Commando? I played it one time.
I know what you're talking about.
If they did that level in a siege game, like Rainbow Six Siege,
yeah, you like blow up the walls.
So that could be super cool. Class based, quick rounds. You could get heroes, which would be pretty cool. If you win 3 rounds in a row, you get some balancing feature. I don't know. We could speculate for a while of just games that should be made, and no one will listen to us.
Hey Disney, I know you're listening. Please give the rights to
FBI agents that
Naughty
are listening
Dog.
into this podcast since the last one. Go ahead and send this to your pals at Disney. We know you guys are working together.
They do run everything.
So that would be very nice. I think we're going to be on to the next question, though.
That's a good call.
Okay, so this one is from Jason from Oklahoma. It's a sports-related question. How much are you into sports, Jake?
I casually keep up with it. I'm not like a stats.
This isn't necessarily a stats question I'm reading right now. Do you think that professional sports journalism, published content, let me just sum it up. Do you think that they glorify the wrong types of athletes a lot of the time? That athletes that are necessarily better, have better work ethics, don't necessarily actually get the esteem that they should get, or the
unintentionally, yeah. Like it's not their fault.
It's sensational culture.
Exactly, yeah. Like you don't
sell personalities, like.
Yeah, like you don't sell a newspaper with this just in whatever, like who's the second string offensive lineman for the Texans is a really nice guy. I mean, like it works with JJ Watt but that's because he's a big player. He's a big player, and off the field he's a big personality.
He's a philanthropist.
He's nice. So they can sell papers with that, but it's it's different if you just say like, hey, this sports player that you've never heard of is those years, how many years ago was the whole Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem thing?
2 years ago? 3
and
years ago?
All the newspapers are like, oh, like Colin Kaepernick, he's not standing during the national anthem. He's anti-America. But now that they're like, oh, like, well, why doesn't he actually do something? But then off the field, he was like donating to charities and helping with schools and all this stuff. But the newspaper didn't cover that because the story was, and then what was selling was Colin Kaepernick's an anti-American asshole. The story that was selling wasn't Colin Kaepernick's a nice guy who is helping children in bad neighborhoods. So it's not their fault that if they ever sell the wrong people. It's just what sells. I don't know. It's just the business.
And journalism now is so much fishing for the hook. They're fishing for 30 seconds to 2 minutes of audio/video. They can.
Yeah, because it's a 24-hour news cycle. You have such a limited span of time to get people's attention, and then they lose it.
Yeah, it's all about that quick.
It's like who Dyer recently, and then there was that there was a website that published an article, and it was titled "Do not publish," and then blah 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 dies of this, and then again in all caps, "Do not publish." Somebody just accidentally published the article, but it was ready to go. They knew that person was gonna die soon. I don't remember who it was.
I didn't hear about this at all.
I'm gonna. Should we send the intern to look that one up?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't remember. Intern. What is the intern's name? Does he have a name?
No, we don't give.
That's fair. It's probably for the best.
Yeah.
After your names, you gotta give them money. So.
Yeah. Fucking free interns, dude. Go to your local college. You pretty much get a guaranteed slave as long as you tell them it helps their resume. So anybody out there in a college that needs an internship, go ahead and send an email to rocktheboatpodcast@gmail.com, and we'll send you out a application that you can fill out. While you're out there on the internet, go ahead and go to patreon.com/rocktheboatpodcast and donate. Once again, I only have one goal, $10,000 a month, and I will do literally anything. So I'm looking for a sugar daddy, sugar mama, I don't care. Please give me your money. Please, 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 please.
You need a Dubai and oil prince.
Please give me your money.
But yeah, it was CBS and it was Barbara Bush.
Oh,
they already had an article written about her dying, but she hadn't died yet, and somebody published
they thought that she died already because she got rushed to the hospital.
Yeah.
So, because I heard about it the day before, and then they were like, "No, she didn't actually die."
Yeah. That's the news these days. If you're not the first article that comes up when people Google Barbara Bush dead, you're not going to make any money. So they have to write something that's going to get, top 10 athletes you won't believe shot people at a nightclub.
Number 7, you won't believe.
Number 7, shocking. Shout out to BuzzFeed.
Yeah, for sure. You fucking assholes. Okay. So if you could stand in one place in the world and see everything that's ever happened in history from that perspective, where would you go?
My perspective is just what I see in front of me?
Yes. So if you went to Paris, you would see Paris be built and faded, it's all that shit.
One of them that comes to mind, not the final answer necessarily, is the grassy knoll. We gotta see.
That's a good one.
Who really shot JFK?
That's a good one. I like that.
What else? Maybe I would say Stonehenge, but how far do we go back? Who put the shit there? Same thing with the pyramids.
I was gonna say the Nile Valley would be super cool because you'd see a lot of shit happen.
Was it aliens?
Yeah. Part of me wants to even just say in America, seeing Native American tribes come through and then settlers, just all of that. But yeah, dude, I'm
watch the Native Americans die.
My people. Shout out to Jason, the half Cherokee warrior.
Was that Jason from Oklahoma?
Yes.
Same Jason.
He's a half Cherokee, half black warrior. He's
is that really?
And jacked. Yeah, dude. He'll be coming to Houston soon.
Is that a real person?
Yes.
What the fuck? That sounds like I'm sorry, Jason, if you're listening, but you sound like a made up person. That's like somebody's superhero or are you a professional wrestler? That's what it sounds like.
He does like wrestling, but not that wrestling.
Oh. I'm just saying, he's definitely got a future.
He wrestles.
You just email Vince McMahon, tell him you're a 6'5", half Indian man. Will probably give you a shot.
Probably work something out with him.
Yeah.
Voicemail pulled up. Intern, go ahead and get the voicemail ready.
Slacking.
I know, my God. We're gonna need a new one.
Hi, Rock the Boat Podcast. This question is for Jake Dyer. Jake, I just wanted to ask you, how did your life change once you became a meme? And Do you think that change has been for the good or the bad? And do you hate memes? Thank you.
So, Jake Dyer, that was a very personal question.
It was. Really digging into my past there. Once I became a living embodiment of a meme. I mean, I feel like I would like to say that my life didn't change when I became a meme. I didn't see myself any differently. Before I was a living meme, I would go to school and then I'd go home and play video games till I fell asleep. And after I became a living meme, I went home and then played video games till I fell asleep. The only difference was a lot of the times people would come up to me and say that they knew me. And I was like, cool, like, thanks. That was it. And then, like, once I got to college, it just, like, didn't matter anymore. Like, I remember I went to, there's one kid that we went to high school with who went to college with us. And, we hung out a lot. We were roommates last year. And he would, like, if we were together, I'd introduce myself to people, like, oh, hey, like, I'm Jake. And he would always be like, no, like, this isn't Jake. This is Jake freaking Dyer. And I'd be like, they'd like stop. Like, they don't know. Like, it doesn't mean anything anymore. So, I mean, I guess, like, more people knew me, but, like, I never, like, followed up with those interactions with new people. As far as me hating memes, I guess, like, I was very early into the internet. I was one of those, like, 10-year-olds on /B back in 2006. So I've kind of always hated memes because I didn't think that they were that funny anymore after I was like 12. As of like 2 or 3 years ago, I stopped caring. It's like if I saw a funny picture on the internet, I'd be like, oh, that's funny. Like there was definitely a time from like, I would say like ages 12 to ages like 16 or 18 where I would see a meme on the internet and be like, oh, like that's not a real meme, or that's not really that funny. But now it's like if I see something funny on the internet, I giggle at it. It's like, oh, like, yeah, it's
you
enjoy
funny. Enjoying things.
Yeah, exactly. I stopped.
I've learned that as well. In high school, we hated a lot of things. That was
Yeah.
kind of what our group did.
We'd
sit around and just like, you know what I hate? Oh, I hate that too. Yeah, we all
like
hate
exactly.
the same thing.
And I would tell that people like I'd meet in college, be like, oh, like what are your friends in high school? Like I was like, we were a bunch of dumb hipsters who hated everything.
Hated everything.
Like that was just what we did. We became friends because we hated video games, but then we all played video games together.
We played video games we hated.
Yeah.
League of Legends.
Yeah, we hated, like, people ask, oh, like, what do you think of League of Legends? Oh, I hate that game. I've played it, I think I have, like, over 2,000 games played on my account, which I haven't touched in years.
Yeah.
Over the span of, like, 4 years, I played thousands of games of League of Legends. But I hate that game.
Forever.
But I hate that game. Like, it's like, if you're like, do you hate it? Or, that's like, my roommate, my roommate hated Mass Effect Andromeda. But he played it for like 100. He played it like twice through, and he's like, "Yeah, that game sucks." I'm like, "You beat it twice. Like, it's not a short game." He's like, "Yeah, but I hated it." It's like that was just us in high school. I don't know.
So to bring you into just playing video games all the time, one thing that Jake Dyer is known for is just getting the max level character on the first day. He'd always, in every game I've ever played, Jake Dyer's been the highest level. Has some of the best stats. He's just been good at every game he's ever played, it seems like. At least in the beginning, because you get most games on release and just grind it out until you're done.
Back in the day, yeah. These days I'm too broke, and it's
time.
It's a combination of me not having that much money and not having enough time that like I can't afford to pay $60 to play a game that I know I'm going to get to play for 4 hours a week.
Yeah.
These days I have more time, but I also have less money than I did back then. So
yeah, I mean, but how did you do it? How the fuck did you be able to do that?
I'm definitely just min-maxing. I would Google like strategies, like you would. It's funny because Ross and I earlier were talking about World of Warcraft and like getting to the end game in a week and all this stuff. And it's like back when I was a little kid, I just loved playing the game. Like I remember playing Burning Crusade for WoW, and I made a Blood Elf Ranger. And I played that game for like 5 hours a day, and I think the highest level I ever got was like 46, and that's back when the cap I think was 60 or maybe 70 in Burning Crusade. And I loved it. I would literally just go kill things and then skin them and then use my leather working to make stuff, and then I'd sell it and I'd just go keep doing it. And I did that for hours a day, and I never got to the max level, and it didn't bother me. But then there was just this point when I was like 16 where I would just always Google like what's the fastest way to level, and like earlier we were talking about Diablo, and what's the, there was always some guy on YouTube was like, oh, like if you go to this exact spot in like Act 2, Chapter 3, the enemies just keep spawning and they give you 1,000 XP each, and you just go kill it for 2 hours and you get 10 levels. And I would just be like, cool, I'm gonna go do that. Like, that's fun to me now.
Well, I also did that with my dual monitor setup. I would just watch Netflix while just grinding.
Yeah.
And like that was so much of my summer through high school would be just binging Game of Thrones and playing Diablo or League of Legends. Like, people would get so mad at me because I'd miss people in League of Legends leaving my lane because I was like watching Dexter. Like,
I remember when you were super into Dexter like junior year.
I'm watching Dexter again right now.
Are you watching the last season too? Or are you gonna skip it?
So I've watched it 3 times altogether. Watched it all the way through the first time. Second time I got through season 4. The third time I was like, I'm doing the whole thing. Did season 5 and I was like, fuck this. I'm telling myself right now, I'm doing the show all the way through again. All the dumb Deb stuff, the hurricane, the everything with Hannah and Harrison, like just, I'm going to get through it. I'm just going to do it because I need a show at the moment.
Yeah.
Like just, it's something I can turn on and I can miss 45 minutes cooking or, and I don't care. I don't care. It's like, oh, I missed the whole Prado stuff. I don't care. Just get me to Trinity now. But show's good. Show's good.
But yeah, you just got to min-max life. If you ever want to get to the end game as fast as possible, just...
Do you use that like philosophy in most of the aspects of your life?
I definitely do like extensive research on things before I even start them. Like it's impossible for me to like walk into a store and just buy something. Like I will sit on my phone in Best Buy looking at reviews on like Amazon, and not even just Amazon or the Best Buy website. Like I'll be looking at magazines and like people's blogs and shit. Like I'm just looking for like, I'll Google like gaming mouse and I look at like pros and cons of every single one before like it's impossible. Like I will go to the store just to look at them, but 90% of the time I just end up leaving the store without anything because I don't think that I know enough to buy something. Even if it's just like it could just be like furniture. Like I couldn't go into a store and be like, oh, I like how that looks. Like I'd have to look up like the brand and like people would be like, look up reviews and make sure it doesn't fall apart in a year. Like I have to research everything.
So are you not very impulsive just in most aspects of your life?
I mean, like I want to buy things all the time, but I would never just walk into a store and buy something without being informed first.
I'm pretty impulsive. I'm pretty bad with money. I'll walk in somewhere for one thing, leave without that thing, and get something else.
See, I'll kind of do that, but I will spend an hour and a half or 2 hours in the store. Like if I one thing that I'm really bad at, and I think a lot of people are bad, is with books. Like I'll go into Barnes and Noble, and it's like, okay, I need to buy this book. Like I've read, like I'm reading the Expanse series right now, and I'm on like book 6, and I think like I probably have like 8 unread books at my house, and it's just because of like other times that I've like, okay, like I finished the 3rd Expanse book, I need to go buy the 4th one, and I'll go to Barnes and Noble because like I know you could like get it cheaper online, but I just like going to bookstores. It's fun for me. So like I'll go to Barnes and Noble to buy the 4th Expanse book, and then while I'm there, I'll see a book and be like, oh, like I've heard about this. And then like you end up looking at that, and people on the internet are like, oh, I like this book, maybe you'll like this book. And then next thing I know, I'm spending $40 buying 3 or 4 different books when I really just went there to buy one. That's one. But I'll sit in Barnes and Noble for an hour and a half and 2 hours looking at book reviews on my phone. Like I'll go on Goodreads or Amazon.com or something. There's your plug, by the way, Jeff Bezos.
I do that with D&D books. I own pretty much every 5th edition book. I'm slacking because we haven't played since Harvey hit.
Like the modules or the...
Yeah, modules. Okay. I know I can download most of it.
Yeah. If you're allowed.
I like the physical copy. I actually... Yeah. For the Lord of the Rings ones, I have 2 or 3 Lord of the Rings D&D likes, Roll20s.
Is there a tabletop?
Yes. It came out last year. So it came out online first, and you'd have to wait like 4 months to get for the book to actually ship. Mm-hmm. But you could get the PDF. Bought the PDF, went to Kinko's, printed that shit.
Yeah.
Laminated fronts, it was awesome.
That's all I have is how much money it would cost you to buy it, though.
Yeah, I think it was like $30 to get it printed because it's like 180 pages or something.
And to get it laminated.
But it was cool. And the guy was just like, are you sure you're able to print this? And I was just like, yes, look at this thing. And like, I just showed him like the end of the book. It's like, okay. He's like, he doesn't get paid enough to. Yeah. I think he's just supposed to ask, but I don't think he really needs to actually do anything about it. But yeah, I even though we don't play most of it, even though I know most of those books I'll never touch, there might be one system in there or one spell that I can say, hey, you want to do this? Hey, you want to use that? I'm hoping with the next house I'm able to do more D&D because it's so fun. But once the momentum is broken, and I've tried to explain this to people that don't play D&D. I know you do.
Yeah, actually, I just finished my first campaign. It took like a year.
Yeah, once you lose the momentum,
it's hard.
If you're saying every week or every other Wednesday or whatever it is, however often you're playing, once you break that and you cancel a session, it's hard to get people back into it. And Harvey kind of fucked us.
Yeah, because you couldn't play for like 2 weeks.
We couldn't play for 2 weeks, and then after that, everyone was just rebuilding, kind of. It was like
So I just finished my first campaign, but we started it last summer. Like we started it in I want to say June because that's when we moved into our house in Waco, and my DM, we played it through the semester. We would meet about once a week, maybe every other week. It's hard because we have 5 people in the group plus a DM. That's 6 people, and like all of us did crew. Everybody in the group was in crew or in a frat or something. So it was hard. But then after a couple weeks, towards like October, our DM, he took the MCAT in January, and he was like full MCAT mode. Like he studied, like literally there were days where we'd be like, hey, like we're all gonna go get dinner on Thursday, and this would be like Monday, and he'd be like, oh, okay, like you guys have fun, I'm kind of behind on MCAT studying. Like he was that focused in on it that like he would days in advance tell us he couldn't hang out because he didn't feel like he was where he needed to be at to study. So we had to put the campaign off till January when he finished it. But then once we got back into the swing of it, it was like, because we had to finish it because everybody in the group except for the DM and 2 of the players were graduating and moving. So we were like, okay, like we have to finish it. That was the only thing that brought us back together was and even then our DM
had a runway. You had a deadline.
Yeah.
You either were going to get it done or not. And you had
we literally, I was homeless in Waco for 3 days. Because we had to stay and finish the because we were playing Pathfinder, but we had to stay and finish the campaign. Like I slept on their couch because our lease ran out, but we had to do 2 more sessions to finish the campaign. Like we were that serious about it.
The only reason why we didn't choose Pathfinder, because Josh and I were working in it.
Yeah.
We didn't choose Pathfinder because we knew we would enjoy it.
Yeah.
We were the ones that were reading the books. We were the ones that were min-maxing.
Pathfinder's it's
all the researches.
Yeah.
It's you're very proficient based in that game. So it's like if you aren't proficient in nature, you can't even do a nature check.
No, and we learned that so quickly.
But it was hard for people that only want to play 2 sessions and want to make a character and it takes like 3 hours. So we ended up doing the easier to get into 5e. We used some stuff from Pathfinder. We used some homebrews. We
did a lot of homebrews with our campaign.
Stuff like that.
I was a barbarian who didn't actually use weapons. I was basically like a barbarian, but with monk abilities.
Yeah, that's cool. Then we've also had so we've done 4 campaigns now since Josh and I started. And we've switched off DM every other one or so. One of them got really bad. So someone invited someone. I'm going to shout out David, fuck you. I hope you're listening to this. You know exactly who you are, you piece of shit. He ruined the campaign. He min-maxed so hard. And here's the thing. Is like I could have shut it down, but like in the beginning I was like, it won't be that bad. His character had flight. He was like infernal or something. No, it was some demon and infernal or something. And it was some bullshit homebrew. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And it was just and he played so obnoxiously and min-maxed everything. And it was just like, bro, that's not why we're playing.
Yeah, it's about the story. It's not what
we're playing. The best one I still to this day will hold. It was the first adventure we did. My brother played. Ladon played. Shout out to Leighton. Shout out to Genji. Josh, of course. No, those are real people. Those are real. My brother played. To this day, he is still in my campaigns. My brother's character's name was Ralph Lauren.
His character is, or he still plays? Oh, okay.
His character is in all of my campaigns because he is the most famous chef in all of the realm. His whole thing, he was a ranger, but his whole thing was based on exotic meats and spices. So he would go hunt a sacred beast, and then everyone would be like, I want to get the sword, roll, he's like, they're checking that. My brother's like, I cut a nice tender fillet of the saber-toothed tiger.
He was
make sure
role-playing?
I pack it in salt before I put it in my pack. And like, he, at the end of the campaign, he had written this recipe book, and he was just like, I go now and spread my recipes across the realm. And so anytime that people go into a shop, there's always a copy of Ralph Lauren's best-selling cookbook. Every shop you've ever gone to in my campaigns, there's always a Ralph Lauren cookbook, because I think that is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Just like, he didn't care about being a ranger, he didn't care about combat, it was just all about getting his next exotic spice or something.
Yeah, no, we had my roommate in our campaign, he played a bard, and every single time he just had time to kill, he had a hat of disguise, and he would tell the DM, I want to look like the most average person in the city, and he would throw that hat of disguise on, and then he would cast glibness on himself, which basically makes you have bluff of like plus 50. Like his bluff was like, if he rolled an 8, he would get like a 60 something on his bluff. And so he would just go into these cities and just tell people about how great our party was and how we were like the most famous explorers in the world and how we would like kill dragons and shit, which was mostly incorrect. I think we'd kill like a wyvern at that point. And people would buy it, and there was one point where he rolled so well on his check that we had to hide in this old lady's shop, and the people literally formed a mob, a riot, to get to us, and we destroyed that poor woman's shop and had to like escape out of the roof. But yeah, that's the most fun, is when people like,
when they get serious, and they get serious silly.
Like my character was a barbarian. And so my whole thing was, basically at the start of combat, like I would get mad and then I'd enrage. And like, yeah, sure, like when I enraged, I got stat bonuses, but I would role play it.
So would I. I get drunk whenever I'd play.
I wouldn't get drunk. See, and I have a story about that. But like there was one combat where we were fighting. There was a ranger in the woods who we couldn't see, but she was shooting arrows at us. And then there was a sorcerer who was like really doing the damage to the party. Like the ranger was like doing a lot of damage only to one person. Yeah. But, like, the ranger shot at me. And I told the party, like, out of game, I would go attack the sorcerer. Because, like, I had, like, Dispel Magic +3 at that point on the cestus that I was using. But I was like, as somebody who was role-playing right now, I have to go attack the ranger because she shot arrows at me and my guy's raging. Like, it just makes sense as my character. So I ran off into the woods and I died. Like, I mean, I ended up getting revived, but like my character got knocked unconscious because I told the group I'm making a character decision. I'm going to go after her. Like, you guys do whatever you guys do.
And I respect that. And I would have given you an inspiration point.
See, we didn't do inspiration points.
We did because not enough people role played, and it was really good. Like, it first of all would save clutch moments, which was nice.
Yeah.
But it would also, it's incentivizing for someone to go out of their way to do a character decision, because not a lot of people just do player sense. You're not your player, you're your character.
Yeah. My character is a dumbass half-orc barbarian who was pissed off. He's going to go attack the girl who just shot him with arrows.
Yeah,
not the sorcerer.
My last character I played was also a barbarian. He was a Goliath. That was one of the new classes, a half-giant. And I was incredibly racist and sizist. If anybody was like short, I instantly didn't trust them and hated them.
That's cool.
Tommy got really pissed because we kept calling him a Keeb. He was an elf, like the Keebler elves.
Yeah.
Just, you fucking Keeb. And just I just was never trusted him once.
Yeah.
A lot of people do really cliche characters. My whole family in my village was murdered. I'm on revenge. Just like,
no, my guy was his family was killed when he was younger.
Course.
he was sold in it was raided, and his family was killed, and he got taken into slavery, and then he escaped his slaves. Went to the docks of Absalom, which was like the biggest city in the world in the Pathfinder, in this whatever
realm,
whatever realm our DM. I don't know if it's the Pathfinder realm or just whatever our DM was using. And then since all he really knew how to do was like field work, he decided to join a gang. And then since he was so good at bare knuckle boxing, he eventually became like the gang leader's right hand man. And then but he had a soft spot for children and for old women because he got taken as a child, so he didn't like to see children struggling because he struggled. And then he had a soft spot for old women because whenever he was a slave, the only friend he had was an old woman who got killed by their slave owner protecting him, and then that's when he ran away from the slave owner. So he found out at one point that the guy who was running the gang, like the guy that was his boss, was making most of his money off trafficking children. So he beat the shit out of him. He didn't kill him, but he like realized that he wasn't going to win because it was basically a gang against him, and so he just fled the city. And my party didn't even know about that. And it was funny because I was like, my guy was like the stupid, like he was like kind of happy-go-lucky, but like it was more sort of like this masking like his actual like traumas. So the party never asked. Like they were just like, oh, like he's just the stupid half orc. But then like whenever we met, because our DM custom writ our campaign around our characters, so eventually we met the leader of the gang.
That's a good DM.
Yeah,
I always pulled people aside and asked them about that type of stuff.
Yeah,
otherwise it's them just like kind of throwing it in there. And no
yeah,
one knows it's real.
Our DM even told us like, hey, like whenever you're writing your backstories, try to put characters in that I could use as enemies or allies later. And so I put in this guy who, you know, and eventually got to the point where we had to go to that city, and the gang leader was like, oh, like I'm putting a price of 100,000 gold on this guy's head. And so we ended up having to like find our way out of the city. But up until that point, they were just like, oh, like he's just the dumb orc. Like it's just cool. Like you get to like, you know, because they were always like berating each other about each other's backstories. Like, oh, like what are you really here for? And I'm just sitting there like, all right, like nobody's caught on to this
tavern.
yet.
We want money, and we're gonna murder people on the way.
Yeah, that was so when we started, everybody, and eventually, like, you know, characters died, people fell from their alignments. But when we started our campaign, I was the only neutral person in our party. We had a paladin who was lawful good. I think
go ahead and turn your gain down a little bit. That's that top notch, top one, not that one.
We had a paladin in our party who was lawful good. 2 people were neutral good, and then one guy was chaotic good, and then I was chaotic neutral. Mm-hmm. So everybody else in the party was like, oh, like let's go do good for good reasons. But my guy was just looking like he just wanted money in a fight. So that was fun. But yeah, no, speaking of, you said you would always drink whenever you played. We had one guy in our party. He was basically the Jim of our friend group in Waco. Yeah. He was just super libertarian and like always higher drunk or
Does he play bass guitar?
No.
Because that's how I introduce Jim now, by the way.
He just plays
and
bass.
He gets mad about it. I'm like, this is my friend Jim. He's really good at bass guitar. And then there's like, oh, really? And he's just like, no. It's just like, why do you keep introducing me like that?
One time, though, I did try to help him smoke weed out of a shotgun barrel.
Okay.
So, yeah. That's how I would introduce him. But he would always drink when we played. But there was one session where he got like belligerent drunk, and the only time we had people die in a session, it was that fight where I ran off into the woods. And he got so drunk, he kept just throwing fireballs at the sorcerer we were fighting, even though the DM was saying that he wasn't saying that he was resistant to fireballs, but he was heavily implying it. He was like, you throw a fireball at him and he seems to just absorb the energy. And so in my mind, like, I'm the barbarian. Yeah. So I can't say
player
like,
sense, character sense, you don't understand. I can't be like,
hey, dude, like he's obviously absorbing your fireballs, because my guy doesn't know magic, but he just kept throwing fireballs at him because he was so drunk. He just didn't. He was like, whatever, like I throw a fireball. But then I got to the point where one of the people in our party, it was our ranger, and it was her boss that she had written in, and it was like she used to be his ward. And so he wasn't trying to kill her. He was just trying to kidnap her and like brainwash her to be his ward again. So there's a point where she fell unconscious in the fight, and the sorcerer was like, no, don't kill her, I need to go get her. And so the sorcerer went to go pick her up, and our guy, the sorcerer on our team, was like, I want to throw a fireball at him. And she's unconscious. She's got like -8 HP. Our DM was like, hey, like if you throw this fireball at her, you're going to kill her. Like she won't be revivable. Her body will turn to ash. And our sorcerer was so drunk, he was like, I don't care. I'm throwing a fireball at her. Throws a fireball at her. Doesn't do any damage to the sorcerer, obviously. Kills the ranger. Ranger turns to ash. We can't revive her. And then the sorcerer that we were fighting got so pissed that he just called lightning down from the sky and evaporated him, basically. Because he was a sorcerer. He had no health, no armor. So he died too, and then they came and revived me, because I wasn't dead, I was just unconscious. So they revived me, and they were like, hey, like they died, but this guy's pissed, and he doesn't want to fight us anymore because like basically what he saw as a child just died, so we're gonna dip. And I was like, whatever, like that works for me. And then they were like, hey, can we take his corpse, because we were gonna go revive him in town. And the sorcerer was like, no. Like, you leave him with me. We're like, fair enough. We just left. That was the only time in our campaign lasted a year. We had 2 people die, and it was because somebody got belligerent drunk.
I always had fun killing characters. The ones that were the most fun were the planned deaths. So I've done a few really planned deaths where, like, one of them that sticks in my mind is Josh was getting tired of his character.
He's wanting to die.
And so we had already... What's so funny is none of the other players picked up on this, that he had, the week before, started playing 2 characters. So he was playing 2 characters until I just instantly murdered his other guy. Like, there was a dragon at the bottom of this lake, and it was a baby dragon, but it was like an acid dragon, whatever the color was. And they've been, like, hearing this water move, and they were in the Underdark, so not a lot of them could see very well. And out of nowhere, you hear a breaching in the water, and just this spray. You look over, I forget his character's name, but he had been sprayed by the acid and just instantly melted. And I remember Freddie's like, I tried to revive him. I'm like, he's a puddle. He's like, he's dead? And I was like, yeah. This is like, people can die in this game? Like, no one had seen it yet?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he's completely dead. And Josh was just like, okay. It's just like, he was just okay with it.
Continued as other character.
Like, none of them had picked up on it, which was so funny, because it's pretty obvious, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when someone's playing another character as well. But D&D was fun. I bought the Lord of the Rings ones not only because I absolutely love Lord of the Rings as just an IP, just as a lore, but it has some really cool rules I can adapt for 5e, especially in Journey. So they have a whole Journey tech tree type of deal where it's like, you know, you're walking for 7 days. Here's your paces. And these are the things you can do, and you need to have a scouter. You need to have navigate. Like, there's roles built into travel, which I thought was really cool because a lot of these campaigns, it'd be like the first bit would be finding the act. First session would be like figuring out what the whole fucking point is, probably one big fight. And then once you're done, you most likely have to leave the city you're in and get somewhere else. A lot of DMs just kind of fast travel in a way where they just kind of do 1 or 2 encounters on the way and that's it. But this is based on like, you're traveling 300 miles. It's going to take you X amount of days. Here's some things to do. And so I bought it especially for that, but also I ended up wanting to run a Lord of the Rings campaign, but no one else around here likes Lord of the Rings nearly as much as I do. I'm almost done with the books. I'm at the bullshit in the third one. I just slowed down completely.
Oh, yeah, not the rule books. But
the books, the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy. And it's like they've already destroyed the ring. The battle in Minas Tirith is over.
Now you're at the part where they do like the 5 endings.
Yes, and it's just
in the
like,
movies it took like an hour and a half. So I can't imagine. It's probably like 500 pages in the book.
God, it's a lot. But I want to get through it. I want to say I've done the books. So
just to say it, yeah, that makes sense.
Because I own the movies. Last time I watched the movies, I took some shrooms, and holy shit, I was like crying.
I think you told me about that.
From the beauty, dude. Yeah. I did it by myself. One of the first times I've tripped by myself. It was beautiful. It was something I'd never...
You never thought you needed to experience.
Yeah, it was really cool. I made a weekend out of it almost. I just wanted to watch all the movies. It was like, just got the new TV. I was like, let's put this thing through its paces.
Let's do it.
So now we'd like to thank some of our sponsors here on the Rock the Boat podcast. Bombi's Vape Juice. It's some of the best vape juice on the market. Go order it now. Blackout City is one of my actual favorite flavors here. It's iced blueberry limoncello. Very refreshing. And of course, their all-time flavor, the Nana Cream. Go use coupon code Summer Sale for 20% off your entire order. That's right, at bombies.com. Tell them the Rock the Boat podcast sent you, and I'll get a little bit of money, and I'll save it with you guys next time. I'd also like to thank Poacher's Jerky. Have you ever wanted to taste illegal wild game? 100% poached. Well, with Poacher's Jerky, you can. They have wild flavors like hyena, elephant, sweet and sour panda, as well as boa constrictor. You can also get a party pack where they throw in a mystery meat that has not been listed to me yet. So go ahead and check out Poacher's Jerky online. You know where to get to it if you know. And on to the next ad. And our last sponsor for this episode is going to be Big Ass Hats. For anybody with a big head like me, where it's just too hard to find a hat that'll fit your head, let's be real, guys. A snapback with one snap clicked just doesn't look very good. Well, with Big Ass Hats, they make sure that your big head is guaranteed with 3 to 4 snaps on that snapback, as well as fitted hats that will fit your enormous dome. Go use coupon code ROCK for 5% off your next Big Ass Hat. So now on the Rock the Boat podcast, we're going to open up our ramen tin of questions again, so let's go ahead and see what we can pull out. Is Disney killing Star Wars? Is Disney killing Marvel? So I know you've seen most of the movies in both. You were a big superhero guy.
Yeah, I've seen all of them, yeah.
Have you actually seen all of them?
Yeah, definitely.
I have not done all the MCU yet. So what are your takes on it, Jake? Excuse me. Duke of Klein Oak,
That's
Jake
me.
Dyer.
Absolutely.
Forgot I needed to address you that way.
Marvel? No, I would say Marvel's rolling strong. Stronger than ever, honestly. Like, they haven't really had a harsh misstep since I know a lot of people didn't like Ant-Man that much, but I loved Ant-Man. And I
haven't seen it yet.
You haven't? I mean, like, it's got a lot of Michael Pena being goofy in it.
Which is good.
But I like Michael Pena being goofy. And it's got a lot of Paul Rudd being goofy in it, and I feel like people aren't really ready for that. It's definitely got its Edgar Wright roots in it. But yeah, no, I feel like, a lot of people didn't love Ant-Man. I loved it. They haven't really, I would say Thor 2 was the last one that wasn't very good, in my opinion. The rest of them have been at least decent, if not good. The New Avengers was really good. I feel like...
So you liked the New Avengers a lot?
Oh, yeah. The ending's incredible. It's not the best movie that they've made, but it lived up to the hype, and that's all that matters.
So I wish I would have talked to you as soon as it came out, because I had some questions, because I hadn't seen all of the MCU stuff.
Yeah, but are you clear on it now, or...?
Not really. So
what do you got?
Questions.
What do you got?
One, why was Peter Dinklage the biggest dwarf you've ever seen?
That was funny. I went to go see it.
That. He's just like, I imagine in the fucking contract, dude, he's just like, if I'm in this movie, I have to be big. Make me big.
When I went to go see it, we basically, me and a bunch of friends, might as well have rented out the theater because it was reserved seating at that theater, and we got like 25 seats. Just because it's just like a couple of us were gonna go see it, and then somebody literally just threw out a mass invite. But I leaned over. My girlfriend was sitting next to me, and I just kept calling him Big Dinklage, and she laughed the entire time he was on the screen. Like,
I was dying.
She literally couldn't stop laughing for that 15 to 20 minute section of the movie. I don't know. I guess just like like they said, they were dwarfs. I guess just because they're in space. I don't like that part of like the cosmic MCU. I'm not super big.
I don't know. I didn't know if that.
I don't know if the dwarfs are always that big in the comics.
Thought it was hilarious. My thoughts on the movie were, I've said it on the podcast before because we talked about it as soon as I saw it, but it was just, it took too long to get here. It took too long for me personally.
No, that's fair because
what was it? 2007?
Age of Ultron.
2008 was when the MCU started. When did
2012 was the first Avengers? Okay, because we were still in high school.
So 6 years to get to this one.
No, maybe it was 2014 actually.
I don't think it was 2014. Intern, look this up.
It was either 2012 or 2014.
I think it was 12.
We were still in high school though. I know that. And then Age of Ultron came out, I think, in 2016. But Age of Ultron was pretty unnecessary when you think about it.
2012.
2012, and then it was Age of Ultron 2016 or
Probably.
2014. Either way, like Age of Ultron is pretty unnecessary.
Really, I don't think I saw it all the way.
Really, the only thing significant that happened in it was they introduced Scarlet Witch.
Was Ultron,
2015. They introduced Scarlet Witch, and they introduced Vision with the Mind Stone.
Vision was important.
That was really it. Other than that, the movie didn't have to exist. They could have crammed that into an Iron Man especially like Iron Man 2 didn't have to happen. Like, what significant happened in Iron Man 2?
Absolutely. What significant
That was the one with
Iron
Man 3.
It just showed he had more suits.
Yeah, I don't know.
We saw that in the trailers.
Not a lot.
We saw that in the trailers.
But that's what I'm saying though, is that like since like Iron Man 3 came out, they've just gotten better. Like there really hasn't been a bad one. Or
so
like an
I'll just read off. So
one.
Iron Man 3 was the start of the second phase.
Yeah, but not much.
Thor: The Dark World.
Not good.
Winter Soldier.
And they showed off the Reality Stone. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier is, I would say, probably the best one that they've made.
I haven't seen that one actually.
It's so good. It's like a Bourne movie.
Yeah, I bet. It actually, that's the one I want to see more than anything.
And that's the thing that I like about the Marvel movies is like, yeah, sure, they've made like 26 of them by now, I think.
A lot.
But like most of them are different genres. Like the Captain America movies are like spy thrillers, and then you have like Guardians of the Galaxy as these like space romps where they're goofing off, and then you have Ant-Man is like a heist movie, and
Thor's
then Thor,
like a true superhero.
The new Thor was great. Thor Ragnarok.
It comes to Netflix. I haven't seen it yet.
It's amazing.
It comes to Netflix this month.
Thor Ragnarok is one of the best ones. Definitely top like 3. I would say for me,
I was just done with Thor by then because the first one wasn't very good to me.
No.
The second one wasn't very good. Yeah. So I was like,
no.
This one has Hulk. Cool.
The first one is the only one I didn't see in theaters. I waited for it to come out on DVD. I just didn't care.
I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it a day early online streaming. I remember it was like freshman year of high school. These seniors were like, hey, man, you want to watch any movie you ever want? Watch it on this website.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm watching Thor early. I was like, how? This website, dude. Here it is.
No, no, the new Thor, like, for me, it's like, the best is Winter Soldier, and then probably Guardians of the Galaxy 1, and then probably Thor Ragnarok.
Also, Hulk is shit.
But yeah, Hulk. So like that Hulk movie with Edward Norton is technically not in the MCU. Like it was kind of before it.
Yeah. No, that's the Incredible Hulk, right? 2008.
Yeah, with the one that Ang Lee directed. Yeah. It's like they kind of like just forgot about it. I don't even count it. I don't know if it counts. Honestly, I don't know if they include it.
It's on here.
Do they include it?
I'm using Wikipedia as a source.
Oh, sorry, Mrs.
Everybody.
Every English teacher you've ever had. Yeah, I don't know. It's. Yeah, that Hulk wasn't very good, but I've never really counted it because they just kind of forgot about it. They just included him in the Avengers. Yeah, no, the new one. I mean, there was like 60 characters in it or something. Yeah, I think, and it was seamless. Like I mean,
it really was. I think the way it was shot was absolutely amazing and necessary. That every character had their little moment, and that was cool. And you got a little bit of flavor text from them, and then you could forget about them because there's so many other characters. What was up with Hulk?
About him not coming out?
Yeah. He just got beat up so bad he didn't want to come out.
So there's a couple theories. There's that one. That's the most likely one. It's just that he got beat up and didn't want to come out of his shell. The one that I like the most, which I don't think is true because there's a lot of holes in it, is that so when Doctor Strange is using the Time Stone to see all the timelines and he sees the one, I read a theory that somebody thought that maybe when he was doing that, he went back in time in that one timeline where they win and told the Hulk to not come out until he needed to. It's unlikely, but like I just thought that was really cool. But yeah, it's most likely just that since he got beat so bad by Thanos, he just don't want to come out because he didn't want to get beat again. Because you got to think about it, like he was out of his shell for 2 years. Oh, you didn't see Thor Ragnarok yet. You know that he's in... Yeah, it's in the trailers. It's not like a surprise. So the whole thing in Thor Ragnarok is that at the end of Avengers 2, when Hulk goes into space, he's just stayed the Hulk the whole time. Like, he's literally been the big green... So, like... And while he's the Hulk, he doesn't, like, have access to what Banner thinks. So imagine basically like a giant... Imagine basically just like a giant, super strong 2-year-old child. And that's what the Hulk is during the Avengers, which you kind of missed because you didn't see the last one. But...
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I've seen... Let's see. I've only seen 2 of the Phase 3 movies. What started Phase 3?
Civil War. Was the start of it?
Yes, I saw that one.
Okay, that was good.
I thought that was awesome. Mm-hmm. It was very good. Really good. I didn't see Doctor Strange because personally, it didn't look good to me.
It's okay.
I don't think people hate me for this. I don't think magic is a superpower, even though it totally is, and it should make sense. But like to me, it's just like that's just not a superhero power I like. So I didn't see it.
It's okay. It's not a best one, but it's probably the worst one of this phase, but that's only because this phase has been so good.
There's Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Was okay.
I saw
Not as good as the first one.
Yeah. But it's going to be hard to just capture lightning in a bottle like that because Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is...
So unexpected.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that movie. I did not see Spider-Man Homecoming because I think Spider-Man is a pussy superhero and Tobey Maguire will always be my Spider-Man.
Tobey Maguire is still my favorite Spider-Man, but Tom Holland's good. It's a good movie. It's definitely worth a watch.
I will definitely watch it, but it's like the old guys saying, that's not my Batman. You know, it's like, that's not my Spider-Man.
No, I would say Tobey Maguire is better. Well,
that's my Peter Parker.
Tobey Maguire plays a better like young adult Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But Tom Holland plays the high school Peter because you couldn't really believe because Tobey Maguire looked like a 30-year-old man-child.
For sure.
Like Tom Holland looks like a 16-year-old kid. So it works for him. He does a good job.
Okay.
And he's really good.
Then Thor Ragnarok, which you say is really good.
So there's so many moments in that movie, and I won't spoil any of them, where you're just like, holy shit.
I'm really excited because I was looking up what was coming to Netflix. That's coming to Netflix, and another big... I
don't know. I saw what's coming to Netflix, but I don't really remember what it was.
Yeah, it was Thor Ragnarok was the really cool one, but there's another one coming. Black Panther, haven't seen. I wanted to.
It's pretty... It got a little overhyped.
People will call me racist for not seeing it.
Where's the white Panther? No, it's...
Did you listen to the caller that said Black Panther is the best anime to ever come to the West?
You know what's the best anime? Speaking of superheroes, you seen Batman Ninja?
No, I wanted to.
Oh my god.
The Joker
get
looks
high
weird.
And watch Batman Ninja. Like, you get high and watch Batman Ninja. You will have...
The Joker looks crazy.
No, we watched it before we left Waco, and it is simultaneously the stupidest and the greatest thing I've ever seen. And I won't go into detail why. Just the last 30 minutes of that movie are incredible because it's so dumb. And they know. Like, the people who made it know, like, we're going to make a dumb anime starring Batman.
And they
did. You ever seen Gurren Lagann?
No.
Okay.
I'm not too big into anime. There's like certain animes that I like. Like I've watched Naruto. There was Attack on Titan. Other than that, I've watched bits and pieces of
do yourself a favor. Just like
watch it.
Smoke some weed, whatever, and then just like stream Batman Ninja. Like you won't be disappointed.
I'll probably watch it because we had a lot of fun with the Telltale Batman game. I had a lot of people over, and we were just playing it all through together, and we made the Joker a vigilante that
I heard you could do that.
Us, and it blew everyone's minds because we were like back to a wall, surrounded, and all of a sudden like a batarang comes out of nowhere, and you're like, I was like, fuck yeah, Robin's here, or Nightwing, or someone like something cool.
It was the Joker,
and then the Joker, and we all, my jaw, just like everyone's.
I didn't play it, but I heard that it was.
It was
good.
So fun. I want to play it again. Izzy really enjoyed it as well because Izzy likes Batman, and then.
No, I played The Walking Dead season 1, and then I played The Wolf Among Us, which is really good. I don't know if you played that one.
I have not finished The Wolf Among Us. I'm on Act 2.
It's really good. It gets good. It's a little slow at first.
Yeah, but I fell in love with the characters immediately. I thought it was just a really cool idea.
Yeah, the whole like fairy tales in real life thing.
They're called like what, fables or something?
Yeah. But yeah, watch Batman Ninja, watch Thor Ragnarok whenever that comes out.
And then the last one of Phase 3 was obviously Infinity War,
which was great.
So what's next? So we have Black Panther 2, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man's the first one to come out. Then Black Panther 2, another Spider-Man.
No. Ant-Man and the Wasp is next, and then it's Captain Marvel.
Actually, I didn't think she was actually getting her own movie.
Yeah. No, yeah. And it's set in the 90s. Which I'm really excited about. Cool. A lot of people don't like Captain Marvel that much. I like her character a lot, and I really like Brie Larson. She's probably my favorite actress. So.
Yeah, I think she'll do good, especially knowing Marvel. Marvel's been
I have high hopes for that one. But and then like Ant-Man and the Wasp, I really like the first Ant-Man. So,
but it's going to end with Avengers 4.
I guess. Yeah, I think it's supposed to come out next year.
And that's essentially just going to be part 2 of this.
Yeah.
And so what are your theories among that? Like so he looked back and there's 2 possibilities that it actually works.
There's only one. Yeah.
Oh. And whatever. And this is going to be the one solution where he saved Tony Stark.
Yeah.
And
he saved Tony or I guess gave him the time stone was also in that deal.
Yeah. And so that way, because he's a crucial point.
So in the comics, if I'm not mistaken, unless I'm forgetting something, basically everybody's like trapped in the Soul Stone, and then they get released from it, which would make sense because, and it sucks that we know this outside of the movies, but like Spider-Man Homecoming or Spider-Man 2 is coming out really soon, and like Black Panther 2, and like all these characters who apparently died at the end of Infinity War are gonna have sequels coming out. Like they're coming back. So I would imagine that they're like stuck in the Soul Stone or something, and then they're gonna get released. It's probably I think Gamora is gonna be heavily involved in the second one, is what I heard. Captain America probably also. I'm interested to see what they do with Hawkeye because I actually really like Hawkeye, and there's leaked photos. People thought it was from the Infinity War set, but it could be from Ant-Man or the second Infinity War. But there's sometimes in the comic book, Hawkeye would be the character called Ronin, where he's basically like a ninja. And there were photos of Jeremy Renner running around in the ninja costume. So I'm excited to see what they do about that. I don't know if he's going to come out in Ant-Man or if he's going to come out in Infinity War 2. I know a lot of my friends are thinking that maybe like some of his family dies whenever the snap happens. And then they're going to and then he's gonna be like, oh, like I need to go save the world. I'm gonna go be Ronin, because as Hawkeye, he's supposed to be under house arrest. They said that in the movie, that him and Scott Lang were both under house arrest after the events of Civil War. So I'm excited to see what they do with Hawkeye. I really like Hawkeye. I think he gets a lot of flack for just being the normal guy. But he has the best scene in Age of Ultron. Like the one good scene of Age of Ultron.
I also liked him even in the first Thor movie. I thought he was one of the just...
Yeah. He's just a normal guy. That's like, have you seen Age of Ultron, or did you miss that one?
I haven't seen the whole thing.
Okay, there's a scene where because Scarlet Witch, at least in the comics, is supposed to be one of the most powerful characters in the universe. Like, she can literally bend reality. There's a whole storyline called the House of M, where she just, like, she basically Thanos' everything. Like, she just puts everybody, like, just destroys reality. And there's a scene in the movies where she's, like, hiding in that house whenever, like, the city's about to fall. And Hawkeye, like, jumps in the house, and she's just sitting there cowering. And and Hawkeye says, "The city's falling? The city's falling. I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes any sense, but I'm going to go out there because it's my job." And then he just, like, hops out and starts shooting people with arrows, and then Scarlet Witch comes out and starts, killing everybody because it's just what she does. But yeah, like, Hawkeye's just, like, a normal dude, and he's like, this is my job. Like, I have to go do this, so I'm going to go do it. So, I don't know, there's just something very human about, very relatable about, like, he's like, I'm probably going to die because I'm a dude with a bow and arrow, but, like, I'm going to go save people because I can.
That's a pretty good point. He doesn't get enough. You're right. He doesn't get enough respect.
No, people are like, oh, he's the dumb guy with the bow and arrow. It's like, yeah, he is, but, like, he's also out there kicking ass with Vision. With like, Vision's a fucking robot.
He's like a god. Just, like, there's so many weird... Yeah.
And Hawkeye's like, I'm going to go help because I can.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what about Star Wars? What about...
Oh, shit, yeah. We got to talk about that. So I saw Solo, and I saw it this week, and I saw it really recently. I waited like a week or two to see it. I don't know when it come out. I don't know. It was pretty good. Like, I know a lot of people really don't like it, and a lot of people really like it, and I'm definitely in the middle, because it's a prequel in that you know what's gonna happen before, because you've heard, like, in the movies they make references to him getting the ship from Lando and all this stuff. Like, that he's not gonna die. The Lando's not gonna die. That Chewbacca's not gonna die. So, like, already those three characters that you care about, they're safe. And building off of that, like, it's a pretty good movie. Like, they did the best that they could with that pretense. That being said, the movie, like, just didn't have to happen. Like, and I know it's kind of setting, because, like, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. I'm gonna, like, skip ahead a couple minutes. Darth Maul shows up at the end. And obviously that's gonna set up for, like, the Obi-Wan movie that they're apparently making. Maybe the Boba Fett movie? I don't know if it's gonna play into that. So, like, yeah, like, I guess it needed to exist to sort of introduce Darth Maul back into the universe. I don't know if
I'm excited. I've always loved Darth Maul.
Yeah. And did you watch the cartoons?
Yes.
So
I watched the Clone Wars, but there's
a
Rebels. I didn't watch Rebels.
Which
I'm not sure if I finished.
Did Darth Maul come back in Clone Wars or Rebels?
I think it was Clone Wars, because he had his brother
Savage Cross or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, so, like, me, like, I haven't watched the cartoons, but I keep up with them, so I know that Darth Maul's alive in the cartoons. So I know a lot of people are like, "What the fuck? Like, why is Darth Maul alive? That doesn't make any sense."
Yeah.
But, like, if you watch the cartoons, like, well, they explained it. So yeah, like, I guess it helped set that up. But other than that, it's like, why did that movie?
I thought it was. I just enjoyed the movie.
It's okay.
I just enjoyed it.
It just like, if it never came out, I would have been like, eh. Like,
it was. It was kind of cool. If you look at it as a completely third party, just like as a movie, the heist was kind of cool. It was, I don't know. I rooted for the characters. I was excited when shit went well. The droid made me laugh. I don't remember the L3. Yeah. It's
different, like, than when you watched Rogue One, which I didn't. Really
I haven't rewatched it.
I didn't like Rogue One. It's
I liked the last, 40 minutes? 30 minutes?
Exactly. No, I was going to say, it's two separate movies. The first half of the movie is not that good, and then the second half of the movie is really good, but they're just it's like...
Once they get to that planet and have to get through the gate...
They try to kill her dad.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, okay, well, you guys are really cool, I'm going to fight for you. It's like, hold on, like, they just tried to kill your dad, or are you super on their side all of a sudden?
I don't know. I think it's just going to be hit or miss. That's the other movie that's coming out. The 8th Star Wars is coming to Netflix.
Oh, okay. Have you seen
Last
it?
Jedi. I saw it in theaters.
Okay.
Not gonna lie, I fell asleep. I was really
Did
tired.
you see the
throne room?
Yeah.
I was passing out during that. I don't remember the dialogue.
It's not, the movie's not that good, but that scene with Kylo and Rey in the throne room is incredible. The fight and the leading up to it is incredible. But other than that, the movie's not.
I'm
that
excited
good.
for when it comes back so I can actually watch it.
That is an incredible scene.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's make or break these next few movies for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Not that they're going to make money or not, but that if I'm going to still be
They're going to have
Star
a whole
Wars
10,
fan.
11, and 12 now, apparently. They have like 8 more.
Of course they are.
Yeah, they have like 8 more Star Wars movies planned already.
It's insane.
Because it works with Marvel because you have so many different characters.
That they need
and so many different stories to tell.
But
yeah, but now...
you're not... Yeah. I'm excited that they actually are doing an Obi-Wan movie. Right?
Are you going to watch if it doesn't have Ian McGregor as Obi-Wan?
Yes, I will begrudgingly do it, but I love Obi-Wan as a character in every medium. You know,
Yeah.
Just Obi-Wan as a character in that universe is one of the best characters. You can argue that.
No, that's fair.
He's definitely my Obi-Wan.
Oh, Ewan is?
Yes.
Ewan? I don't know.
I know, right? That name.
Ewan
dude.
McGregor, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely my Obi-Wan, but I don't know. And then did they actually confirm a Boba Fett movie?
Yes.
That could be really cool.
It could be.
If they get a cool director, because they're doing different directors and
Yeah.
it's stylized, that could be really cool.
It could be, but I just feel like they're going to play it really safe.
Exactly.
Which is kind of the problem that Solo had.
Yeah.
Like, Solo played it very safe, which is why I'm saying, like, Solo was as good of a movie as it could have been, just from the premise of it.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be such a, low down, shoot first type of guy, like just...
Which he does. Spoiler alert again at the end, when he shoots, the guy's talking, and like, I thought that was cool.
I did enjoy that, too. How he met Chewie was very...
Yeah. It's like as soon as Chewie starts attacking him, you're like, just like get the scene over with. And that's the whole problem with the movie. It's just like, just didn't need it. There definitely could have been at least a more interesting story. Because that was the thing about Rogue One is they introduced all these new characters.
Yeah,
so you knew that like the chances like they could live or they could not live. And that's the whole
I
point.
assumed they were all dying as soon as I heard of that movie, though.
Yeah. That was actually, bringing it back to Marvel a little bit, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2 twice. The second time I watched it, I liked it a lot more. Because the first time I watched it, you go in knowing, like, okay, all these characters are going to be in Infinity War, so they're not going to die. But then, spoiler alert, Yondu dies at the end.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, like, Yondu died. So the second time I watched it, I sort of got more appreciation. Because, like, the second one, the whole B-plot of the movie is, like, Yondu's redemption arc. So watching that again, I was like, wow, like they did a really good job of like, this guy was supposed to be like a pirate asshole. They did a really good job of sort of showing that he really wasn't that bad of a guy. Could have been better, but.
So, do you think Disney's, do you think they're ruining any of these? I mean, honestly, I think, imagine if you were a child now.
Yeah.
And you're coming up with this.
If I was a kid now, I'd love it. I wouldn't know any better.
Exactly, but this is.
The problem is that
they're making it for children.
I've seen 4 movies with Han Solo in it. So by the time that I watched the 5th one with young Han Solo, I'm like, I don't know.
That's true. A different actor. It felt weird.
The actor did all right. I didn't like.
I thought the actors that were well known did an incredible job.
Emilia Clarke.
Emilia Clarke was okay, but I'm talking like Woody Harrelson.
He did really good. His character was so. The moment that they show him on the screen and he's like twirling the pistols around, I was like, "That's a cool." And then they did the whole thing where he was disguised in the outfit, and they're like, "What do we do, Captain?" And all of his guys just look at him, they're like, "Yeah, Captain." Like I was like, "Yeah, like that's like that's
the bullet hole." I thought he was cool. I thought Maeve. Have you seen Westworld? The Afro chick.
Yeah.
I thought she did good for what she was in.
She was in it for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
That was a surprise. Have you seen Deadpool 2?
No, I was supposed to.
It's good.
But we ended up seeing Solo, which...
Deadpool 2 is better, I would say.
I know, but we wanted to just see it. Because my brother had just told me, he's like, go watch Solo.
It's
so we saw it. Still want to go see Deadpool.
That's good.
I thought Donald Glover.
Yeah, it was a little hard to buy him as Lando. Just because he's so much better looking than Billy D. Williams. Like, you couldn't... I
enjoyed him. All the scenes he was in.
But he did really good, yeah. He just didn't feel like Lando.
He was still childish Gambino.
Yeah, he felt like Donald Glover, not Lando. Like, I don't know.
Community, dude, is what I see him from. Just constantly, though.
Set phasers to fun.
Yeah.
Or set phasers to love me. That's what it was.
Just so good. But yeah, let's look at the next question. American Idol. How? Why? Why does anybody care?
I honestly,
I'm amazed. I didn't even know it was still on.
It came back.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think like this year or last year.
Okay, I didn't even know.
I didn't know either till because I don't watch live TV.
Yeah.
Unless I'm with my parents, and I was with my parents, and they were watching TV, and there was an ad for American Idol, and they were like, American Idol's coming back.
We don't need it anymore. Okay, next question.
The internet is American Idol now. SoundCloud is American Idol.
Yeah, dude.
SoundCloud Idol. There's a show. Hit me up, Fox.
Military magnets.
What the fuck?
What do you know about what do you know about military magnets?
It's gonna wipe hard drives? I don't know.
What do you know, Jake Dyer?
About military magnets?
What do you know? The people need to know what you know about military and the magnets that they're using.
Everybody knows, this is common knowledge, that the military is making giant magnets, and that they go to Russia and they wave those magnets over their computers and it wipes their hard drives. It's a fact that I said.
Okay, so next question. Battle Royales, are they here to stay?
Yes. Well,
so we've seen multiple
Fortnite's here to stay.
We've seen multiple genres come and go in our time gaming.
MOBAs,
MMOs. You could even say a lot of other.
Rest in peace, Rift.
A lot of other types Rift as well have come and gone, but I think Fortnite's here for at least a while. Yeah, that's true.
The thing for a while.
Couch co-op, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's gone. Unfortunately, people don't care.
It just doesn't make sense. You know.
I actually had a lot of fun. This is off topic from the question, but a couple of weeks ago, I had like a couple bucks to spend. I spent like $30 on some couch co-op games, and my friends and I got some beers and just got a little drunk and just. We played Helldivers. We played Gang Beasts. We played Overcooked. And we just screamed at each other for like 30 minutes.
Love Overcooked. No one wants to play with me because I yell at everybody.
No, yeah, I was screaming. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's not that hard. Just bring me the goddamn tomato.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, all I'm doing is plating and doing dish. How are you guys fucking up everything in the kitchen?
Yeah, we just stopped playing it after like an hour because we just got mad at each other.
What world did you get to? Do you remember?
Not that far, no. Like, I think like the second one.
Did you get to the ice world yet?
Yes.
Okay, so.
We got to like 2 levels on that one.
Yeah, that gets rough.
And then we just slid around and died. I think that's actually when we quit. And then we went to the bar.
It gets rough.
Because we were just pre-gaming before we went to the bar.
It's so fun, though.
It was like, I spent like $15 and we only played it for like 3 hours, but it was totally worth it.
Worth it.
But yeah, Battle Royale.
It's here for a while at least. We'll see some more imitators and then we'll see something else come out of it.
You know, I think PUBG's going to die pretty soon. Just
poor optimization.
Because they can't.
Why would you pay for it?
Make the game.
Why would you pay for a Battle Royale when you get a better one?
Bugs about it. That game's going to die soon. Unless they fix it, but I doubt it. Even then, it's not super interesting. It's just in-depth. Fortnite will stay for a while. I would say a couple more months, maybe a year. Before it dies.
Well, the thing is what do you consider a game dying? Because, League of Legends went forever. But
yeah.
I consider it a dead game.
Yeah, no, I would... Well,
I think it's when you stop getting new players.
Yeah, League of Legends, I would say 2015, I think, is when it kind of... It was really strong from, 2011 or 2012 to 2015. Yeah. And then people... There was basically at that point, if you didn't already play it... I remember a couple of years ago, I saw an ad for it, and it was literally the ad was well, everybody knew what something once. That was the point that it was at. It's everybody who wanted to play it had played it, and everybody who hadn't played it yet was well, I don't want to play it.
I saw one of those ads too, where it's just you're a noob.
Yeah.
Play with your friends.
Which is, I like that ad. It was a really good ad.
It was... And
it had a good point.
Self-realizing, because if they advertise it as esports, it's I'm never going to be that good.
Yeah.
Those people are fucking so good at the game.
Esports gets people into the game, but it doesn't get people playing it.
Yeah. So what do you think about esports, honestly?
There's a lot of money in it.
Yeah. How do you actually feel about it as a spectator sport?
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm very old school. For any of the listeners that don't know, I'm very into fighting games, and I've been into competitive fighting games since oh fuck, hold on. Intern, 1 second. What year did Marvel vs. Capcom 2 come out for the PlayStation 3? Not the original one, because that was the first. Or really like Tekken 6, whatever year Tekken 6 came out, because that was the first time that I bought an arcade stick.
I was so close to buying an arcade stick.
I have multiple now. I have 2.
Just because I wanted one so I could have at least a decent time playing.
Yeah.
I got decent with the gamepad, just playing with the controller.
A lot of pros just play with the gamepad now.
Yeah, but still.
Because most of them have been raised on consoles. No, so yeah, Tekken 6 came out in 2007. That was the first fighting game that I watched a lot competitively. So that was 11 years ago, and so now I'm at like a very like old school mindset of like what esports is. Because when 2007, when Tekken 6 was around,
you have to go to meets, right? Pretty much.
It wasn't even like esports though. Like esports and like the fighting game community were like totally different, because esports is let's get sponsors. Like you look at I guess these days, like, tournaments are more crowdfunded than anything, like, especially, like, Dota 2. People, like, buy the compendium and that they put pot into it. But back in the day, it was just like, okay, like, we're going to have a Counter-Strike tournament, and the prize pool is going to be $10,000, and the Corsair sponsoring it, and all these, like, Logitech sponsoring it, and Asus is sponsoring it. And so the sponsors would get people to watch it, and they would put the pot money in so that people would come watch it and come play it, and that would get more viewers and more players, and then the sponsors would get more money. When you compare that to like old fighting games and stuff where it was literally just like 100 people got together and they were like, hey, I think I'm the best at Street Fighter, and they would all put $10 in, and at the end of the day, like top 7 people would get whatever was left of that money. It wasn't really about the sponsor. So esports, like, it's definitely the future, because it's a really good way to make money. Both mainly, I mean, like, if you're really good at a game, you're going to make a lot of money from esports. If you're not good at the game, hopefully you get sponsored, and then you can make some money, maybe not all of your income.
Streaming, I think, is where the money is
exactly
at when it comes to that. But my concern with esports is the barrier to entry to someone that hasn't played the game.
Yeah.
So how are you going to get mass appeal when, like, League of Legends was doomed on that level, where it's like, if you've never played a MOBA, you have zero idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. Your game sense is none. The abilities are confusing. That's why I thought Rocket League was going to be the perfect esport, because it's so easy to understand.
It's soccer.
It's fucking soccer.
I actually saw somebody, speaking of Rocket League, they made a comment once. Soccer is the perfect soccer simulator, because FIFA is a soccer team simulator, but like Rocket League is soccer. Like, your car, imagine it as your foot. Like, you have to hit the ball at this speed, at this angle, at this distance.
It's so mechanical.
Yeah, as opposed to FIFA where it's press X to pass and plus circle to shoot.
And it's teamwork between players that are controlling one player at a time, and it's amazing. And especially what the pros can do. My God.
Yeah. In Rocket League? Yeah. It's incredible.
The ceiling is insane.
Yeah, it's non-existent pretty much. But that's where, so you kind of, that's where, like, esports, like, I think it'll live forever, just because it's so easy to make, not as a competitor, but as a sponsor, like, make money off of esports. Like, we were talking earlier, Ross and I were saying, like, if we had the lottery, we'd totally start an esports team, because you pay 5 nerds $40,000 to $50,000 a year, and you rent a house in the middle of nowhere, and you pay them to go to a tournament 6 times a year and
stream all day.
Yeah, and you just, like, basically take all the money that they make, but you're paying them to play for you, and you're paying, and they're making a good deal off it, because they're making money, 1, and 2, you're paying for them to live, paying for all their living expenses. So as somebody who, like, would own a team or sponsor a team, it's a good deal. But it's hard, because now you're in this realm where every game is trying to do that whole, easy to learn, hard to master thing.
Especially, and they're doing it all in-house, where the developers trying to control the esports.
Yeah. And so you have all these games that come out, and they're just not that interesting, because, like, they're easy to learn, hard to master, which basically translates to, hey, if you play the game for, like, we were talking about Overwatch earlier. If you play Overwatch, we were talking about how we got bored of it after, like, a couple weeks, because unless you're at that, like, super high level of competition for Overwatch, like, how to play the game after a couple hours, because there's only 18 characters, like 20 characters, something like that, and
they have 2 abilities.
Yeah. So, like, the characters aren't very deep. The shooting is, like, let's say you're a McCree player, you need to hit every shot. But if you're a Soldier 76 player, like, you don't need to hit every shot. You just need to throw down. You need to press E to throw down your healing field, and then just spam, your buttons. And you hold left click, and then you press right click whenever it comes off cooldown. And that's a whole easy to play, hard to master. Like, is it that hard to master? That was the problem with Street Fighter V. I got bored of Street Fighter V after like 3 months, even being a big fighting game player, because the hardest combo that your character can do, the most optimized combo, is like 6 hits. Like for the character I played was Zangief, and it was like headbutt, low kick, lariat, or pile driver. And like, yeah, like there was a lot to learn about, okay, like when can I pile driver? How far can I pile driver from? But once you figure that out, it's basically just going through the flow chart.
Is that why Street Fighter V kind of died?
Yeah, absolutely. Because it just wasn't... If you look at Street Fighter 4 had these really advanced combos, and there was like so many characters, and there was just so much to figure out about the game. It was, crazy. There were these things called... I don't want to go super in-depth about it, but a lot of the best combos, the most optimized combos that your character could do, were these things called one-frame links, which basically you can imagine if the game's running at 60 frames a second and you have one frame, that's 1/60th of a second. So basically you had a 1/60th of a second window to hit your button to keep the combo going. And like, I think the tightest...
I'm bad.
Yeah. Street Fighter 4 is a super hard game. Like, and so, you look at Street Fighter 5 and anybody could jump in and play Street Fighter 5. And that, that's cool. But like, there's a reason that the game only sold... I think it sold like a couple 100,000 copies. It wasn't a lot. It made its money back, but like it really wasn't a success because like people just got bored of it so fast, and they were so focused on esports. Like, I don't know if you remember, Street Fighter V didn't have an arcade mode when it launched. It basically was just, it had trials, it had training mode, and it had online mode. That's pretty much it. And then after the fact, they added arcade mode and story mode. They added all this stuff.
Didn't it also only come to PlayStation and PC?
Yeah, it never came out on Xbox. Just because Capcom has a deal with Sony.
I guess, yeah. That's one reason why it didn't sell so much. But like, so on games, E3's coming up.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you're wanting to come out then, or expecting, or do you know anything?
I'm excited to hear about the new Smash. Just what it is. If it's a port, I'll be really disappointed. If it's a new game, like what direction are they taking? Because I know Smash 4 was fun, but I think a lot of people were hoping it would be more like Melee, and
I think
it wasn't.
People are always going to be holding on to that.
Yeah. So and I'm still and I'm there.
If it's not Melee, people are going to be mad. If it is Melee, people are going to be mad because, oh my god, they're just redoing a game. I don't know. It's hard to listen to an audience, I guess, in that level.
Yeah, especially because Melee is only so good because people broke it so much. It wasn't meant to be like... So yeah, I'm excited to see what they do about that. I know there was a leaked... supposed... I don't know how valid it was, but somebody leaked like the whatever Sony's going to talk about at their schedule, at their conference. One of the items on there was Vanquish 2, which I don't know if you've played Vanquish 1, but that game is... incredible.
It just came out free on Xbox.
You have to play it.
It's the slide around shooting.
Yeah, and it's like slow-mo. It's made by Platinum, who made like Bayonetta, and Another thing was Devil May Cry 5 was on that list. If that's real, that would be cool. And I know there's been a lot of rumors about that lately.
Well, a lot of people hate the new Devil May Cry, right?
So what came out...
It's faction-based or something?
No, what came out last was DMC. Which was supposed to be like a reboot, and it was made by Ninja Theory, which is the team that made like Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, a bunch of games like that, Odyssey, something like that, or Enslaved Odyssey to the West, I think is what it was called. A lot of people really didn't like DMC. I liked it. It was okay. It's really not that bad. People gave it a lot more flack than it deserved just because they remodeled. And they and to be fair, Dante's character was very stupid. He was like a stupid teenager, and he was just like...
So those are hack and slashes, right? Where it's combo based for score.
Yeah, like it's a third person character action game is what.
Okay, I was wondering what the actual genre. I've never played them. I've actually really wanted to because I do actually. Like
Bayonetta 2 is really good, and then Bayonetta 3 they announced.
Yeah, that's a Switch.
Like last year.
It's a Switch title, right?
It's not they haven't announced like a release date or anything yet. They haven't shown it, but
hopefully
they'll talk about that.
Something. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Rockstar will talk about that.
Because I'm eating up anything Red Dead.
I really want to hear about Last of Us 2.
Didn't have a PlayStation. Didn't play I watched most of a playthrough, and honestly, by that point, I was just kind of like.
I mean, it's like a movie game. Yeah. It's one of those ones where it's mostly about like the story, but it's such a good story, and the gameplay is really fun. I know it doesn't. It's not like super like
As
wow.
Donkey just goes ladder, brick.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's
ladder.
It's because it's really tense because it's one of those games where like. because it's a third-person shooter and it's kind of cover-based, but it's like you would like walk into a room and there's 4 people shooting at you, and you'd be like, oh shit, like I'm fucked. There's 4 people shooting at me. As opposed to like when you're playing Uncharted and you just like pop out of cover and shoot them with an AK-47. Like in The Last of Us 2, you're like, fuck, I have 8 bullets, and I need to kill 4 people. It was super, especially if you played on hard mode. Like you never had ammo really, because and that's realistic.
Is that how they kind of gauge difficulty? Was on like scavenging?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Materials.
The harder the difficulty was. I don't know if you died quicker. I would assume you did. But the one thing I remember, because I did play on hard mode and on normal mode, was you didn't find nearly as much. Because like when I played on normal mode, like you always had ammo. You always had healing supplies.
You just didn't have ammo.
Yeah, like like basically it was like you had to stealth or else you would die. It was really cool, yeah, and yeah, and the story was really interesting. The ending's very controversial, but so Last of Us 2, really excited to see more about. Naughty Dog has not made a bad game in a really long time. I'm really excited for that.
So I'm looking at what to expect here. There's Battlefield 5. Don't care.
Call of Duty.
Possibly new Star Wars game.
If it's not 1313.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sports games, of course, they'll show every year sports games. Anthem is one thing that people are...
I mean...
I think it looks like shit.
What is it? It looks like Destiny, but without the fun.
Like, isn't it supposed to be like a class? Not class.
It's a class. No, yeah, it's a class-based like multiplayer shooter.
Thing,
yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't look that interesting.
Done with it by then.
I'd rather just see Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm always excited because so many things can go right, and most of the time they don't. E3.
Yeah.
It's like the speculation is ultimately more fun than the actual.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's fun to watch. Like we always watch the press conferences like on TeamSpeak. Yeah. Because it's just funny to watch, and you sit there and you scream at each other like, "Holy fuck, they're actually making it." Yeah. But then the game comes out and it's not that interesting.
Exactly. It takes years to like announce it. Metroid Prime might be coming this year because they talk about that. They did a teaser. It was just like Metroid Prime.
I remember that.
Or anything that could be super cool. I've always been a fan of Metroid, even though I'm bad at them.
Yeah. There was a video some guy made last year. He's like an animation channel, and it was like E3 summed up, and Microsoft was like, we got a new game, and look, here's because you remember Forza, they're like, here's a car, and then Sony comes out, they're like, oh, new, like, whatever, and there was, like, franchises, and then Nintendo, it's like, knock, knock, motherfuckers, Nintendo here, yo, on Metroid, we got 2 of them bitches, like,
fucking good shit, dude. Anything you want to plug?
Plug?
Yeah, dude, anything you want to plug? We're wrapping this one up.
I want to plug 11 Below Brewing Company.
Making good ass beer.
Making a good beer. The Oso Bueno.
I was gonna say anyone like?
What?
Any beer you actually like from them?
Yeah, the Oso Bueno. IPA was not great, but the Oso Bueno is here brewed locally in Houston, Texas.
So come get some.
Come get that and some oil.
There you go.
And drink that.
Oh boy, what a podcast. I had a really good time with Jake Dyer, good time talking to him. He's a real knowledgeable guy about a lot of things I do like. And I'm glad he came out. I don't see Jake Dyer nearly as much as I should, but it really just goes to show you that any of you guys can be on my podcast. This is for everybody. If you're in my city, you know who I am, you know about the podcast, just hit me up and we'll make a time. We'll get you on the podcast. If you want to go ahead and like the video, subscribe, send it to a friend, yada, yada, yada. More importantly, man, go give me your money. Go on Patreon. Patreon.com/rocktheboatpodcast. I got one goal, $10,000. You know, I'm going to keep saying it. For $10,000 a month, I'll be your slave. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. $10,000 a month. I'm in. Yeah, I'll see you fuckers later.
so